Hola clase, soy yo, maestra Coconubo, y vamos a recapitular la clase de hoy. Empezamos una marca nueva y por eso vamos a intentar de tomar notas en clase. Todos los días tomamos notas. En clase tomamos notas de la conversación de hoy, ¿ok? Donde nosotros intentamos, ¿no?, aprender una nueva conversación. No olvides que estamos tratando de aprender el verbo ser, ¿sí? Este verbo es muy especial, es muy poderoso. Entonces, podemos ver que ser está en varias de las preguntas que hicimos hoy. Por ejemplo, tenemos where are you from? ¿De dónde eres? ¿Okay? Y hablamos un poquito de que en español hay diferentes verbos que nos ayudan a describir personas, ¿no? Y describir diferentes situaciones. El verbo ser es uno de esos verbos. Okay? Ser is one of those very special verbs that have those qualities, no? And we remember the acronym DOCTOR. So, ¿de dónde eres? Is using that origin, no? Example of that, our acronym. ¿De dónde eres? We also have, ¿cuándo es tu cumpleaños? When is your birthday? ¿Cuándo es tu cumpleaños? We might say, es en, okay, we have that new word, en, which means in. Es en invierno. Invierno is winter. And then we have a new month. Es en diciembre. So keep practicing that pronunciation right through these questions. Another one we used, otro ejemplo que usamos con el verbo ser es, ¿cómo es tu número de teléfono? We really just stress the how when in Spanish, anytime you see an accent, you want to accentuate that particular vowel sound. ¿Cómo es tu número de teléfono? ¿Sí? Y que sea como un sonido sólido. Ok. Otro es el, no, the number, right? Phone number es el 603-481-9800. So anytime you're describing a career, of someone's career, the time, the characteristics, the relationship you have with someone, right? You use this verb ser, okay? Very powerful verb. We also reviewed the alphabet. I noticed that a lot of us got a little hesitant when trying to use the alphabet when it came to the skill of spelling out our last name. So I'll run through this quickly so that you too can practice it, have it and don't forget the song, right? The song. So I'll sing the song so you have it. Okay, so here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, Ñ, M, N, Ñ, O, P, Q, R, R, S, T, V, W, X, Y, Z. Ole. And we have those special sounds like the ch and the y and the r. See? So keep practicing them. Play the video and really just own those letters. Okay? Moving forward. Okay, so back to the said conversation, right? We have gone over the answers, so I just want to make sure everyone's on the same page with this, okay? Remember that the verb ser is to be in English, and a lot of us wanted to describe our the age that somebody is. And so I want to just remind you, right? We only use ser for the following scenarios, right? When we're describing the date, the occupation, the characteristics of somebody, the time, the origin, where someone's from, and then the relationship, right? You do not see age in doctor, okay? So we're going to be going forward soon and learning how to use the verb tener, okay? We might say, I am 15 years old, right? Yo tengo 15 años. So you're translating that to be I am 15 years old. But that's another verb, okay? So we're really like making sure through comparing, right? Ser and tener, they both mean to be, but we use ser for scenarios in which we've memorized doctor, the acronym. And then tener is used for another set of reasons. One of them is age, okay? So just a little description there of how, Spanish is very different to English, okay? So we might use, I am 16 years old, but in Spanish, you're going to use a different verb. Okay, now on to characteristics. So ser is used when we're describing somebody's personality, okay? So or their characteristic. How would you describe them, right? Their physical description. You might see something else like physical description, okay? So you might say, oh, mi amigo, right? My friend, mi amigo es alto, right? So what we want to reinforce here is that these are adjectives: alto, guapo, inteligente, and adjectives can change in gender when they end in O, right? So alto can become alta, right? So you might say, mi amiga es alta, mi amiga es guapa, mi amiga es inteligente. Adjectives that end in E do not have a gender pair. They only have a plural pair, right? So you might say, mis amigos son altos, mis amigas son guapas, mis amigos son inteligentes. You just add that S to describe plural characteristics of people. We have the word perezoso, no? Perezoso. We have the word deportista, and we have the word pequeño. So these are all examples of adjectives. So now you can say, my friend is redhead, mi amiga es pelirroja y alta. Now you're giving me a little bit more than just like, I am from Dover. Soy de Dover. But we're still using the same verb, right? Soy inteligente. Now you can describe yourself. Soy inteligente. No soy perezosa. No, I'm not lazy. No soy perezosa. Soy atleta. Or soy deportista. Vale? So just keep practicing that vocab. And we try to describe our family members. Okay, so here, numbers 14 to 18, números 13, 13 a 18, we described how we can, describe our people, right? Our family members. And mi mamá es atlética, mi papá es inteligente, mis hermanas son guapas, mi abuelo es viejo, mi abuela es una chef, right? To recycle just how we can use this verb ser. Okay? Vale. Then we moved on to I wanted to say what we've turned in today. So we want to make sure that we're turning in pages 2.1 and we also have the other page where we sort of learned a new verb, right? And then also the indefinite articles. So I wanted to recap that as well so that we all are on the same page. So white day. Sorry, I'm bouncing around here, classrooms. White day, right? We have this new page for us to work on. So with nouns, okay, so I know we're working on nouns, adjectives, and verbs, right? We've got all three of them in play now, right? We've learned that Spanish has all three as well, right? Just like in English. So when we are talking about nouns, we want to first remember that nouns are centered around a gender, okay? So we can describe, right? El teléfono, no? El cuaderno, el papel, see? La revista. So all nouns have a gender, and they can have a definite article, so el, la, los, las, or now an indefinite article. This is new, right? Indefinite articles just let us say things like, oh, this is a nice phone. Es un teléfono bueno, no? This is an organized notebook. Es un cuaderno organizado. This is an interesting magazine. Es una revista interesante. See? So the gender of the object does not change whether you're using el or un. We just have to memorize that, okay, now we can say the school is green, la escuela es verde, but we can say also, I know of a green school. Yo sé de un colegio verde, or una escuela verde. Okay, so we're just like continuing on the next step, right? We know that nouns have gender. We know that nouns are typically introduced with a definite article, el or la, right? And they can be changed to plural as well. And now we're going to extend it. Right now we can say, oh, there are some, or there is a, right? There is a, you can say, party, fiesta, no? There is a concert, concierto. There is a cow in our school. Hay una vaca, a cow, right? So just these are things that we have to kind of go over and we cannot forget. Okay, so how did we learn it? In what context, right? Describing how many there are. So now we know our numbers, and now we can describe how many there are. And some things are described as a or some, because you can't count them all. So you can say, oh, there are some, right? Or there are many, okay? So where are we going? We're going to be able to describe things in specific quantities, right? And in general quantities, which is great. So just to recap, we only did a few of these and before you turned it in, but I'll start where we paused, right? So you might write something like, oh, there is a yellow pencil. So you'd write un lápiz amarillo, right? And so notice how the gender of the pencil hasn't changed. It's just now you're saying a instead of the. You've memorized el lápiz. Now you can say, oh, there is a pencil. Hay un lápiz. Or the negation. There isn't a pencil. No hay un lápiz amarillo. When it is plural, the masculine gender now changes to plural as well. So you have un lápiz. Now we make it plural. Unos lápices. And the adjective also goes plural. Amarillo. Okay, so just to give you an idea of how you wanted to fill this out. I'll do the rest orally. So, hay un experimento de ciencias. Hay una tarea. Hay unos problemas de matemáticas. Hay unos problemas de matemáticas. Hay un cuaderno verde. Hay una computadora. 14, 15, hay un maestro. 16, hay un ratón. 17, hay una botella de agua. 18, hay una caja de Kleenex. 19, hay una clase. 20, hay una grabadora. 21, hay una cinta. 22, hay un pincel y unas pinturas de arte. Y 23, hay un teléfono negro. For the remainder, you're listening, right, to the audio selections and typing or writing, right, what you hear, so that we are just making sure we're on the same page, okay, when we're listening. And so my question is, what can you describe that there is? Maybe in your home now, right? Oh, hay un teléfono, ¿no? En mi casa. Hay unos libros en mi casa. Really challenge yourself to use what you're learning at home. And to complete this video, I just wanted to make sure I said the poem so that you can start to practice it at home. Remember, we're learning the verses through the seasons. So here is verse number 3. El camino de la semilla. En una manzanita vive una estrellita con 5 habitaciones y 5 camitas. En cada camita duerme una semilla y cuando se despierta la recoge el agricultor. Y en una cama nueva la planta con amor. Regamos y esperamos a los rayos del sol. Y en la primavera ya crece un buen plantón. Poco a poco y con cuidado el tallo se ha estirado y crece el brotecito hasta ser un arbolito. That's it for now. Practice, practice. Hasta pronto. Adiós.